Pritzker and Mayor Johnson. Unified political family together, the Chicago machine back together in its full might and power. Fight for the democracy of this country. Bring it to the unlawful and derelict President Donald Trump. Fight for the soul of this country. Full effect here in the land of Lincoln.
To have little regard for the many acolytes that he has encouraged to commit crimes on his behalf. You can delay justice for a time, but history shows you cannot prevent it from finding you eventually. If you hurt my people, nothing will stop me, not time or political circumstance, from making sure that you face justice under our constitutional rule of law. As Dr. King once said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it journeys toward justice. To combat crime and to improve public safety. And it's working. Not one person here today will claim we have solved all crime in Chicago, nor can that be said of any major American metro area. But calling the military into a U.S. city to invade our streets and neighborhoods and disrupt the lives of everyday people is an extraordinary action, and it should require extraordinary justification. Crime is dropping in Chicago. Murders are down 32% compared to last year and nearly cut in half since 2021. Shootings are down 37% since last year and 57% from 4 years ago. Robberies are down 34% year over year. Burglaries down 21%. Motor vehicle thefts down 26%. So in case there was any doubt as to the motivation behind Trump's military occupations, take note. 13 of the top 20 cities in homicide rate have Republican governors. None of these cities is Chicago. 8 of the top 10 states with the highest homicide rates are led by Republicans. None of those states is Illinois. Memphis, Tennessee, Hattiesburg, Mississippi have higher crime rates than Chicago, and yet Donald Trump is sending troops here and not there? Ask yourself why. If Donald Trump was actually serious about fighting crime in cities like Chicago, he, along with his congressional Republicans, would not be cutting over $800 million in public safety and crime prevention grants nationally, including cutting $158 million in. Earlier today in the Oval Office, Donald Trump looked at the assembled cameras and asked for me personally to say, "Mr. President, can you do us the honor of protecting our city?" Instead, I say, "Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here. Your remarks about this effort over the last several weeks have betrayed a continuing slip in your mental faculties and are not fit for the auspicious office that you occupy. Faith community standing behind me today for guidance on how to mobilize. To my fellow governors across the nation who would consider pulling your National Guards from their duties at home to come into my state against the wishes of its elected representatives and its people, you would be failing your constituents and your country. Cooperation and coordination between our states is vital to the fabric of our nation, and it benefits us all. Any action undercutting that and violating the sacred sovereignty of our state to cater to the ego of a dictator will be responded to. The state of Illinois is ready to stand against this military deployment with every peaceful tool we have. We will see the Trump administration in court. We will use every lever at our disposal to protect the people of Illinois and their rights. Finally, to the Trump administration officials who are complicit in this scheme, to the public servants who have forsaken their oath to the Constitution to serve the petty whims of an arrogant little man, to any federal official who would come to Chicago and try to incite my people into violence as a pretext for something darker and more dangerous, we are watching and we are taking names. This country has survived darker periods than the one that we're going through right now, and eventually the pendulum will swing back, maybe even next year. Donald Trump has already shown himself to have little regard for the many acolytes that he has encouraged to commit crimes on his behalf. You can delay justice for a time, but history shows you cannot prevent it from finding you eventually. If you hurt my people, nothing will stop me, not time or political circumstance, from making sure that you face justice under our constitutional rule of law. As Dr. King once said, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice.
Driving violence down in the city of Chicago, why would he withhold over $800 million for violence prevention? Why would he take away Medicaid? Why would he take away SNAP? Why is he defunding public education? Why isn't he building more affordable homes? And so we're going to do the things that are working here, just like what we've committed to doing. And so far, we're obviously moving in the right direction. More work to be done, but that work is certainly working. Look, here's what I'm paying attention to. I'm paying attention to the things that are actually working, right? I'm paying attention to the 31,119 young people that have summer jobs. We're paying attention to the 4,000 affordable homes that we've built, and we're on pace to build 10,000. I'm paying attention to the work that we're doing to provide mental health support services. I'm paying attention to how we're going to actually make sure that working people can thrive in this city. The reason why we're experiencing the positive trends is because we're actually doing the work that works. Delivery.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
I'm wondering if you have any concerns that all of this pushback against Trump, knowing how he responds to that, if it might kind of be like poking the bear, if you will, and could make things worse and could actually provoke him to follow through with this talk about sending in the National Guard when yesterday he seemed to waffle. Could this make things worse, all this pushback?
Standing in unity is actually what's necessary when you're fighting against tyranny. I mean, could you imagine if as a descendant of slaves, if my ancestors would have had that same rationale? Let's not fight against the Confederacy. Let's just try to get along, and then maybe one day they'll give us our freedom. Nowhere in the history of America or the world where marginalized people have sat silent and idle, and they've been able to actually achieve justice and liberation. The fact that you have a unified front in Chicago where we are rejecting the occupation by the military of our cities. That's actually fighting for our democracy. That's what's required in this moment. Leading in this moment takes a great deal of courage, but we stand on the shoulders of so many people that have come before us. We have seen these type of tyrannical acts before. One thing that we know for sure, when we fight back against tyranny, the people united will always prevail.
People who he apparently cited speak for the community.
Well, look, here's what I do know of someone who lives on the west side of Chicago. We want investment. We want investment. That's why we put forth a $1.25 billion economic development plan. That's investment. It's why we put millions of dollars into providing dignity for those who are without homes. It's why we have spent millions of dollars into our behavior and mental health care services. The city of Chicago has funded the Chicago Public Schools by a tune of $1 billion. That's what people want. They want good funded neighborhood schools. They want a transportation system that's safe and reliable. They want to be able to afford to live in this city. We're building the safest, most affordable big city in America. That's what the people are calling for, and that's what we're doing. Happens when working people stand together. The last thing that Chicagoans want is someone from the outside of our city who doesn't know our city try to dictate and tell us what our city needs. As the mayor of this city, I can tell you that Chicagoans are not calling for a military occupation. They are calling for the same thing that we've been calling for some time, and that's investment. What safe cities across America all have in common, they invest in people, and that's what we're doing in Chicago. We need the federal resources to make sure that we're building more affordable housing, expanding mental and behavioral health care, education, all of these things that could reduce crime and provide real community safety. Instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars for a publicity stunt to invoke chaos and terror, the federal government should spend that money on proven solutions to crime and violence reduction. We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down. It's unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down. What our people are actually calling for. We're calling for investments, resources. This stunting that this president is attempting to execute is not real. It doesn't help drive us towards a more safe, affordable big city. And so, in closing, we have some very simple demands. We are calling on the Trump administration to release the $800 million for violence prevention funds that he stole back in April. We are calling for more resources to stop the endless flow of guns into our city. And we are calling for transformational investments into affordable housing and community safety. I'm proud to stand with all the partners that are here today, as well as mayors and governors across this country. We will defend our democracy. We will protect our humanity. We will stand up for the interests of working people. And so that's the state, local government, the federal delegation that are all here, committed, standing firm in our values, standing up for the greatest freaking city in the world, the city of Chicago. Thank you very much.
Wow, today I was very proud of my mayor and my governor. Man, did they really hand it to him today in the speeches they gave. Both of them was monumentally inspiring and forceful. And it was a united front against this tyranny and this unlawful, illegal, and precocious childlike behavior from this president. And this racist president at that. This is a racist attack by this man. And the problem is this. Many of our people, black folks, not many, not a whole lot of them, but some of them are Republican Uncle Tom sellouts.
And I mean, that's the most, to me, that is betrayal, you know, to your own race. You know, because this is definitely a black versus white issue with this president. So when he's like, so you want to call somebody like a racist person like that? I've known this since I was a kid, 8 years old, living on the uptown, on the north side, around trailer park trash. Well, I don't say trailer park trash, I mean, but poor hillbillies moved up from down south. They came to Chicago, whatever they were from. They were some rough motherfuckers. And I'm gonna tell you, the word nigga came out their mouth many a time. And a lot of them received a fist in their motherfucking mouth. You know, but man, I knew that back then. So a lot of brothers and sisters, they ain't never experienced that in Chicago.
Lawsuit. Period. Bottom line. Have help. People like me. Brothers fresh out the joint. And no loss. Every time we lost. Big cassette. Sue. Big time. On demand. Every turn. 7. Every time, 7.